Eyes are up here, eh? G'day guys, it's Dan from Onya here. We are back GymPod number 2. We're going to chat with Ryan today from Sin. As you can see, it's time to go to church. And yeah, he's going to run us through how he runs his gym. Super successful, doing really well, growing all the time. And yeah, I knew Ryan years ago. We PT'd in a gym together. And it's been really great to see his progress. So we'll catch up with him and see what's going on. Oh, where is he? Hey boys, how you going?
Good day, mates. How you going?
Nailed it. First go, eh? First go.
We doing this shit?
Yeah, right. Am I coming up to you or are you coming down?
I'll come down to you.
Alright, you lost it.
That
You lost
That
it.
was shite. That was shite.
Hey, that's
No way I
shocking.
can say, oh, good day, mate, and put another shrimp on the barbie.
Aye, mate, that's cheap.
Is this a full body shot or like
Yeah, what's going on? Should I
just
flex
talking
the-
heads? You could,
flex
but
the
you could
fucking
soften the knees a wee bit. Eh?
Soften
You could.
Now, this is Ryan Holmes, who is one half of Sin here, based in Glasgow. And geez, my knees are getting sore. Squatting
That's
down,
all
keep
right,
you the
mate,
height there.
stand up. We're going to figure it out eventually.
But yeah, Ryan's going to take us through a workout here at Sin. Danny boy behind the camera is going to run in a bit of B-roll of some busy classes, so you can get a look around and have a look and run through a session and have a chat. And I've actually known Ryan for, I was actually thinking, was it like probably 8 years ago or
Must
something?
have been
That would
8
have been
years
the
ago.
fitness group years ago in this little gym. First place I ever was involved in with fitness in Glasgow. And Ryan was there, and yeah, it's been good to see his growth.
It's only like 5-10 minutes away from here as well.
Yeah, it is. Right, give us a run through, Ryan. You've got the 2 spaces. We're upstairs at the moment.
Yeah.
But as far as rigs go, that's a pretty sexy rig. So why don't you start there and run us through that?
Cool. So this is,
And how the classes work, because it's group training. So like,
yeah,
everything's set up for group training.
purpose built for group training. So this is our second floor. We've only been open in here for literally 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
So we're still growing into this space right now. It kind of just fell in our lap and became available. So we've been downstairs, which we'll show you shortly,
Yeah.
for 2 years. This was previously a place for events, and somebody else had the lease on this place. They got a wee early lease termination and we swooped in and took it over. We've been getting bigger. We knew we were going to need a new space soon, and to be in the same building was just going to be perfect. So we swooped
Yeah,
in.
that's ideal.
It's ideal.
'Cause-
We've only really been using it at 6 a.m. just now, so like that's our busiest session.
Yeah.
So we've been using it as a kind of overspill space for now, but as you can see, it's way too sexy to be just used for overspill. So we're growing into it, and the plan is to be kind of fully operational and running busy sessions up here all the way throughout the day, kind of by June next year. That's the kind of projections of where we expect to be. But yeah, right now it's 1 to 8 group coaching, which is why you can see we've got 4 rigs. So we do 2 people to a rig, and we run small group PT. So we do 1 coach to every 8 clients. So and at 6 a.m. we have 1 coach up here, and we have 2 coaches down the stair. And then between 7:15 and 11 a.m, which are the rest of the morning sessions are on, the rest of the coaches are just downstairs for the rest of it. So we mainly use this for filming content, getting client photos in, bringing this man in to do really, really cool content.
Mate, he doesn't even know your name.
He doesn't. He keeps calling me Dale.
Unbelievable.
So right now we're mainly using it for training and stuff like that. But again, as I say, it's a cool content studio stroke training place that we expect to grow into and be using more for the service.
I suppose it's a massive thing from a business point of view, the fact that you had, like, it's so lucky that you had the opportunity to expand in the same building, because most people will be like, oh, I've hit the capacity on my space. I've kind of got everything I can out of the space, and then they go, oh shit, right, I've got to find a new place, and then they worry about inconvenience, members moving, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was like, I suppose if you had the opportunity, you'd be like, yeah, why not? Go for it.
I mean, the best thing about this space was we came into downstairs space as like a brand new startup company. We've been running Sin, but we've been running it from somebody else's gym before. So in terms of capital to put into a gym, we weren't as well off. So we learned from a lot of the mistakes that we made downstairs. So it was like a blank canvas up here. So down the stairs, one of the biggest issues was our floor. So it was the floor was on a run when we originally came in, because it was a church floor. So we've got a floating floor, but it's chipboard floored with the rubber mats on top of it. Occasionally we'll get little bashes and stuff like that. So we laid like plywood all throughout here, so it's a little bit thicker. We use thicker rubber mattings. We used Clyde built rigs, like kind of traditional kind of CrossFit rigs down the stair.
Yeah.
But with our programming, we use a lot of cable-based movements. So we've went full black box this time.
Yeah.
So the cables are kind of built in, so you're multifunction.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of equipment and exercise selection for the amount of space that you use with these rigs. So we've got 2 of them downstairs, but if I could start again, it would just be all black box rigs.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's ideal, because I think when most people are setting up a gym or expanding anything like that, you kind of need to know how your sessions are going to run to actually know what to keep yourself out with. And I think most people, when they start a gym, they'll start and they'll be like, kind of like you said, you're like, right, what can we get? What can we get that's in our budget that can work with what we're going? So
Totally.
Yeah, it's a good position to be in, to be like, right, we know exactly what we want and going from there.
I mean, when you're working out of somebody else's space and using somebody else's kit, it's limited as well. So the way that we used to run sessions and program and all the rest of it was completely different when we done it down in Commando. Versus coming down here and like purpose building something for the service that you run. So that's what we done originally downstairs, and then we put those 2 new rigs in to run it how we run it now. As it's changed a couple of times as it's evolved and gotten bigger, and up the stairs it's allowing us to just, as I say, start and hit the ground running and not have to make those mistakes again. We already know what we're doing and what we're growing into this time around.
So Ryan, with the business model, small group PT model, for Rain Gyms, it's becoming more and more popular. It's becoming more and more popular with members as well. What kind of drew your eye and attention with that? Was it because it's a more profitable model for the space that you're actually in? Or is it because that's just the service that you lent into with kind of your experience of PT background, or what was you thinking around it? Or was there thinking around it, or you were just like, this is what we want to do?
It's a good question. Like, me and Dale met through PT and Commando. Like, firstly, I joined MTN as an online coach, and I was still doing PT, and so was Dale. And we were starting to get busier with online and starting to pull back from one-to-one, like, in-person training. But I suppose we aligned in where our values were in terms of what we like, and we're both very hands-on coaching. We're both, like, in terms of our coaching style, we both like attention to detail. And I think we always planned on doing something together, and I'd never really seen myself just being a full-time online coach and just sitting behind a laptop. It's not really why I get into this game. So I always wanted to have some form of in-person training, connection, coaching people through movements. And I'd worked for somebody else doing group training as a coach for somebody else's brand and company before. Loved it. Like the energy, working with so many different people. Probably been the best thing for my development as a coach, like seeing so many different people move in different ways throughout a same movement pattern, and brought me on a lot. And I think just when I met Dale, I was like, this is something we could do together. Like I naturally loved doing that, and I can see that you would love it just as much as me. We both share a very similar coaching style, so you know what it's like when there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Like, there was never going to be that with me and him, because we were so aligned. So we got the opportunity kind of around about COVID time to run some groups in Commando XFit. Even before I was PTing in there, we agreed with Ross and Gary to go in there. And it started off as a large group thing, just to get more people in. It was during a time where like, not a lot of people had a lot of options for training. It was throughout kind of COVID and stuff. So we got that opportunity to go in there, and it was good, but it was chaotic, trying to manage that many people. We also wanted to teach people how to lift properly, and to try and have 2 coaches managing 40 people, we seemed like you weren't going to be able to get that.
Rushed,
So we started as a 1-to-6 product, and we done that when we went to small group. We started as a 1-to-6 product. We got the opportunity to take the outdoor bit in Commando, and it just kind of grew arms and legs from there. We worked in there together for 2.5, close to 3 years, and that's when we started thinking, right, do you know what, this thing's growing. It's also gaining a lot of popularity. People liked what we were doing, but probably one of the biggest things that was holding us back was the fact that we were outside, and we were in Scotland, and it's fucking freezing. We were using second-hand kit. We were in a place where it was communal, so other people were using it, so we were reluctant to invest too much of our own money into things that other people were going to be using and maybe not taking care of. So we started looking about, and we found this beautiful space in 2023. Moved into here in June 2023. It was just pure luck. Like, David Hatt, who was the guy we worked with at MTN, uses a guy called Jonathan Gardner for his photography and stuff, who's got a studio next door. His dad owns this building and a lot of the buildings round about here, and he just bought this, and he was just in the process of converting it, but he didn't know what it was going to be for. And that's where we swooped in and put dibs on the place.
Nice, yeah.
So aye.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Right, what are we doing?
Right, okay, so we'll kick off a wee warm-up. We're going to go 60 seconds any erg,
Yeah.
8 renegade rows, 8 reverse lunges, 6 child pose to cobra. We're going to do 2 rounds of that, and then we're just going to dive straight into this little session here. I'm changing RDLs. Got a bit of a old man sore lower back, so we're going to change that to a chest movement.
Good, yeah.
Because who doesn't love a bit of chest?
That's it.
It's all I've done from 16 to 21, chest and arms. So we'll go overhead press into push press. So the idea with this one is we're going to lift relatively heavy, keep the intensity high to the point where we're starting to get fatigued after, when we hit that third rep. So we need to move into that push press to generate that momentum. And then we're going to do 2 back offs. So same movement pattern, but higher rep range. So we'll just scale back on the weight a wee touch. We're going to change this to a seated cable chest press because it's one of my favourites.
Bit of cable chest press, that'll get me going.
Yep.
I told you in the last one, I don't bench often, but jeez, I got some tits on me, I tell you. For a bloke that doesn't not benching much, he's got some tits.
Wait, you see my tits?
Yeah. They can't put that in there, all right?
Right, okay, so we'll then move into close grip cable row.
Yeah.
And then we've got the choice here, and since you're the guest, I'm going to let you decide. We're either going to do what we would do, build or perform. So in our sessions, we let the guys choose whether they want to do some accessory strength work or they want to do a conditioning piece to finish. So the accessory strength work is overhead cable tricep extensions with dumbbell lateral raises with some partials. And then perform is going to be, with a little workout we've called the Devil Wears a Sin Coach tee. An Onya Sin Coach tee. And we're doing a 12-minute Tabata, 45 on, 15 off.
We'll do the build. We'll do the build. Chance. See,
okay.
You give them a high box.
No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Build
there was a period there where I was going and training in gyms to do all the tours. Every single gym I went was, hey, we're doing this high rock simulation today, and I'm like, hell, I'll be fucking exhausted by that.
Are you ready for the fall? Are you ready for the drop down? Guess you had it coming, might as well enjoy the ride. Are you ready for the fall?
So, I noticed, I think it's something that a lot of people, and you'd probably be really good to talk on this, is in terms of taking advantage of things like mentorships and stuff like that. Because I know you're part of a group where it's Gym Owners Network, isn't it?
Yep.
And like, what advantage being part of a group like that has, how has that helped? That was a terribly formed question, but how has that helped? What are the advantages and what does it help with in particular?
So we've been on that now for coming up in 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think before we were on it, we just thought we were doing shit hot because we had nothing really to compare things to.
Yeah.
And we didn't really see the bottlenecks that were in our business.
Yeah.
So we didn't really see where those growth issues were going to come into play.
Yeah.
Until somebody who had no emotional attachment to our business, who was already running a successful product within March On.
Yeah.
Because the Gym Owners Network is essentially them pushing the March On model on us.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was so reluctant to want to do that because it was so much change. Change is scary.
Yeah.
Members don't particularly like change either. The biggest worry is, what if everybody leaves and they don't like the new way that we do things?
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have been able to get to this point now if we hadn't done that. So before we joined the Gym Owners Network, we had 80 members.
Yeah.
We now have 230 members.
Yeah, right.
And we couldn't have accommodated 230 members on our previous model.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. We would have probably hit that plateau a hell of a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And then had to try and punch square pegs and round holes for a long time before we figured it all out. Whereas we had somebody who'd walked the walk before us. But the biggest thing was being in the room with other high performing gyms in the UK as well. So you're in your wee bubble in Glasgow. You can only compare yourself to the gym down the road. And even at that, you don't know what they're doing. You can only see from what social media is telling you. Whereas when we're in the Gym Owners Network, you have to present all your numbers. You have to present how every KPI that basically your business operates upon in front of a whole bunch of other gyms, and you can compare notes basically. So you know how you're doing to the best gym in Newcastle, to some of the best gyms in London. So it just puts you in a whole new league.
It shifts your mindset as well. I imagine of being, completely different. Of just your ceiling goes from it's here to shit, actually no, it can be here. You know.
It's no different from coaching. It's like when you get a new client in the door that's been trying to lose a stone for 3 years and they never quite get there, and they were just missing a few things that the coach who's walked that walk before could lay out the plan for them. It's just the exact same with mentorship, to be fair. And it's like, it's an expensive outlay for us, but the impact it's had on our turnover, like, it was worth its weight in gold. And I've been like, I'll be honest, there's been times where, because we had so much impact at certain times, and then you would maybe go a long period of time where you're like, oh, we're still paying this monthly recurring thing, but we've not changed anything in a long time, and we've not ran into any more problems in a long time. Do we really need this? And yet you think, like, I could pull our expenses down, and we could be like netting a wee bit more. But every time that I've thought that, something else has then came up, or I've sat in a room with somebody that's got a problem who's a year in front of us, that I'm like, right, and now I know that problem's going to arise at some point, and I don't need to make those mistakes that they made. I now know how to steer away from that. So it's been a big thing.
It's just a bit of a cheat code, and I think most people, exactly the analogy you gave, where it's like it's like someone with fitness. People come to get a coach because they need to learn how to get fit. It's the same with business and anything, So, no, it's just because, like, I think it's probably been from the outside looking in and knowing a little bit about your business, I think it's probably, it's been night and day, like, unbelievable growth. Like even you said, 80 odd members to 260 in that time. Like, that's growing quick for a lot of gyms. A lot of gyms work quite hard to get there. So it's like, why wouldn't you? Yes, you've got the financial outlay of taking the risk, but if you back yourself, like, fucking why not?
Well, the biggest thing for me is, like, we're in the coaching game, right? So we surely value coaching, and I'm not saying everybody needs to have a mentor, but you don't know everything. And if you've heard the saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And it's like, if we ever get to the point where we're in the Gym Owners Network and there's nobody in that room that inspires us, I'll look elsewhere to get a new coach. Now that we've had that, I'm like, I think I would always want that, because it's somebody else setting me a new challenge, setting me a new target, keeping me hungry, stopping me getting complacent. And I think it's crazy value for somebody who is new to business ownership as well. Like, if you do a 6-week course to become a personal trainer, it doesn't teach you how to run a business.
Of course.
You know, like, you need somebody there that can help you navigate all those brand new things and get you there quicker. With PTs, you start out, you just trade time for money, right? And that's it. But once you get to a point of 30 clients, and you're doing 40, 50 hours of PT a week, you've hit your ceiling. There's only so many price increases that you can do in personal training in the west of Scotland. So you really need to learn systems. You really need to figure out how can I make this one-man band, because you might have your own limited company, but if you're a one-man band, it's not really a business. Like, you're just in control of yourself.
You're not the CEO of a one-man band.
You show up every day to your job and show up for your clients. Like, that's just like, it's a normal job. There's nothing much different about it. But when you step into a place where you wanted something bigger to create more impact, you take on a premises, you start hiring staff and doing wages, payroll, tax returns, VAT returns. It's like, nobody teaches that in a 6-week course, and not many people have that knowledge. And I didn't have that knowledge. You have to make the mistakes and you have to learn. But as I say, like, that's why we value mentorship, because I would have made a hell of a lot more mistakes, and I would still be learning things that I already know now, and now I'm on to those next things. So it's definitely just sped us up.
Absolutely, and I think it probably gets to a point, because it's such a natural, like, I'd say that, if I can pull this number out of my ass, but you'd think that most people that own gyms like this, they all started as PTs. Like, you'd probably say 75% plus, I'd say. And they've all, exactly that, like, you get to a point where you're kind of, like, you've got a wife and kids and stuff like that. You get to a point where you're like, right, I can't just keep trading my time for money here. Let's try to build out a business and a system. And I think it comes with, I found anyway, like, I think PT's like a young man's game. Like, the older you get, the more other things, you're working the hours that you normally want to be at home with kids and family and stuff like that. So it's finding that whole balancing act and so.
For me, like, that's exactly what you said there. Like, I'm 35 now, and I'm like, do I see myself doing...
He doesn't look that old, does he? Fucking not bad. Scottish skin, I tell you.
I know, that's it. My mum's a redhead. Redheads.
What does that mean?
They get better skin for some reason. They get slagged with a hair colour. They have something. But it's one of those ones I couldn't see myself doing 40, 50 hours of PT coming into my 40s, I mean, I've got young kids as well, so PT, you typically run your business early in the morning and in the evenings. I didn't want to be working every evening. I want to be at home and spending time with my family, so this was always something. And online coaching, I'm like, online coaching, you know, there's obviously an element of your results do the talking, but it's a popularity game as well, you know, so am I going to be the big thing people want when I'm 40 years old? Like, probably not, I don't know, like PT and online coaching wasn't around when, you know, it's not been around long enough for there to be people to follow right now.
They've done it for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly, so you don't really know, but to me I was like, I want something that's mine, like bricks and water, and it's not all about me, it's about a brand, it's about something that's way bigger than me. Eventually people might not even know Sin is mine, you know, it might be a case of, it might be that way. Our mentorship encourages us to focus on the business and less on the coaching. Now for me, like I don't think I'll ever fully do that because I love coaching, it's why I got into this and I still have a massive passion for it, but could I see myself doing 7 hours of coaching every single day now? No, I'm definitely, my energy's getting lesser, but probably because my responsibilities have gotten greater as well. But, I'm just it's kind of fell this way unintentionally, but I wouldn't change it.
Right, going to start moving. A couple of sets. What I was going to ask Ryan was, obviously you do this with Dale, like your business, but he's not here. He's on his honeymoon. So we'll forgive him. But like, like a lot of people do these things by themselves. Like, what benefit is having a business partner? And could you have got where you have without having a business partner?
God, everything in me wants to say something really sarcastic, but
go for it.
What business partner? He's always on holiday, that guy. It's a massive benefit having a business partner. Like, as I said to you before, like we share the same vision, we share the same values. Like when times are like tough and when things are difficult, he's the only person that's really going to understand it because he's experiencing the same emotions and the same stresses. So it's number one, just having somebody that you can confide in and that's in it with you, and you know that they care just as much as you to get you out of those stressful periods. So that, I mean, that just from a psychological standpoint, like that's one of the biggest things. But just in the beginning, it was just running sessions and we paid a few PTs and it operated fine. But if it was just me doing what we do now and the size of the operation and the way that we do things, the level of support, the amount of stuff that goes into it, I would really struggle to do a lot of that stuff just myself. And like Dale being off for 2 weeks on his honeymoon is a perfect example of that. Like I'm managing and I've got a really, really good supportive team around me that helps with that. But in terms of like those really senior things that we do in terms of like the finances stuff and like the payroll and all that, like I manage all that stuff and Dale mainly manages the team related things. But this last couple of weeks I've been doing both and it's like you're right at the top of the cup. And I think based like my lifestyle of having 2 young kids, being married at home, like I wouldn't be present, I wouldn't be the best person to be around because I'd be stressed all the time. So having somebody to share that load with just allows me to be a better dad, better husband, and just be more present when I'm not in work.
No, it's perfect. Makes sense. I need to find a business partner, I think.
This is our classic hoodie that's in our shop. Got a good few colours of this one. Our typical logo's green, but mixed up, a bit fresher with the white. And then it's got the writing on the back with the bold strength and then the more subtle in numbers.
So if that hoodie or if that piece of merch was a movie star, what movie star would it be and why?
That would be Ivan Drago because you think I'm his lookalike and you're not the first person to think that. I went to a stag do one time and Drago was in the back of my t-shirt. So.
He does. Nice, mate.
Woo!
Nice.
Right, exercise 1 done. So that's something we've got in the programme right now. It works really well with our members and kind of typical clientele that we've got because a lot of the people that we've got are quite new to training. So training intensity is something a lot of them have to practice and get good at. So that whole one top set into that back off set allows them to feel the difference and like a heavy load that takes you close to failure versus a lighter load where you can get a little bit more volume. So it's educational as much as it is allowing them to progress within a movement as well.
That's probably an important thing to touch on as well is like Because we've spoken about that in the past, where it's like majority of your members come in, some of them have either not trained for a long time, or maybe they used to play a bit of five-a-side or something like that, or maybe they're a new mum getting back into training.
Yeah.
How do you tailor all of your program to that? Because obviously it's small group PT, so there is the overall group, what they're working on, but obviously there's little specific things as well.
There is. So if someone's coming in to our gym for their very first ever session, the first thing that happens is one of the team members who's on shift will take them to the other side of the gym. We do a movement screening with them and see that every movement that we've got in our program is suitable to their mobility, any previous injuries they've had, just suitability to certain movements as well. We all know that some movements just don't feel as good as others. So we make sure that, yes, everybody might be doing the same exercise, but it might be a different variation of that exercise that just suits somebody that little bit better. It might be raising somebody's heels so they can get deeper into a squat. It might be using a goblet because they're just not confident under a bar yet. And we just meet people exactly where they are. Before they've even came into the gym, we always do an onboarding call. We find out all about their training history. You know, and sometimes it is, I've never been in a gym before. So you're not going to come into a gym having never had it before and go into like a technical movement, like a barbell back squat, which maybe isn't technical for you, but for somebody who's, you know, got 3 kids, never been in a gym before, they just want to start their fitness journey, coming in and being told to do that movement would be enough to get you not to want to come back into a gym again. So we specify it to every member. If you walk into a busy session for us, you will notice that some people are doing different things. You know, it might be a case of somebody's got a bad lower back, so rather than doing a, you know, a standing barbell bent over row, they might be doing a chest supported row where we're not alleviating that pressure that's going to build up in the lower back. So.
And how do you communicate that through all of the coaches? Like, is there a system you use, or do you just, is it just up to each other to communicate it?
No. So, I mean, we do communicate very well because all of our team are full-time. Most of them are up there in the office right now. So we're all here, we speak about these things, we have regular team meetings. But we also have our system. Our booking system has a client profile on it, and it's got like an anatomical figure on each person. And if there's any previous injuries or any exercises that aren't suitable, we highlight the area of the body and we put notes on it. So when somebody's coming in for their session, they've booked in, we take the register. Did they attend? Did they no-show? Did they late cancel? And then we look at each person and we just refresh the memory. So-and-so doesn't do that, so-and-so doesn't do that. So rather than it being like, oh, you don't do back squats, what will I get you to do? It's like that's already pre-planned, so it doesn't feel like they're just making things up as we go. It's specific to them.
So one thing that's always, whenever I chat to gym owners, one thing I find that is always a sticking point with them is that transition period between kind of taking all the classes themselves, doing everything themselves, and then getting some people in working like kind of part-time, hiring some help, and then getting people to start working full-time. What was that like for you and Dale?
I mean, that was the most important change I would say we've had to date. And it was something that we were scared to do, was go from, you know, hiring somebody, and you know, you might have somebody coming in doing 2 sessions for you, and you're maybe paying them a PT rate, and it's just like a self-employed rate. So it's not like a major commitment because, you know, there's no holiday pay, there's no sickness pay. It's just like, if you're here, we'll pay you. If you're not, we won't. Whereas people that are doing that are also obviously have to earn a living elsewhere. So they all get their PT businesses, and they always earned more through PT and online coaching than they did through us paying them for 4 or 5 sessions a week. So the buy-in just wasn't there. Like, you know, they'll come and do a good job. I'm not going to say the people that we've had haven't been great for us at that moment in time, but you know, they were great for coaching sessions. But our service goes way beyond that. Like the level of support that we give is like a full coaching service you would expect from a one-to-one PT or an online coach, like check-ins, regular touch points, accountability, and somebody who's getting paid for 1 hour isn't going to do that additional work to that standard, you know?
Absolutely.
And they're also not here the majority of the time. So in terms of upskilling, CPD, having regular team meetings, sometimes people weren't making team meetings because they had clients and they prioritised that. So it's something that we knew we had to do, but the commitment of somebody's full-time salary is quite a scary commitment to make, because you're like, well, shit, we need to do this, and they have to be paid before we get paid. Like there's a binder. But
and do you think going and restructuring to be like you mentioned earlier with the network and everything, where you were kind of like encouraged to go down a certain route, do you think restructuring how the business actually function in terms of like small group PT for you as a business owner? There's a little bit more predictability there because of like you charge more. Obviously, you're providing more value, so there's more charge there. Did that give you a little bit more of a feeling of safety and security to then take the plunge and go, I'm going to hire someone full time, rather than just being like, right, I've got to try to get my classes as full as possible, and that's my goal. You were like, no, we're going to focus on premium value.
100%. But the biggest thing was we didn't really track a lot of data.
Yeah.
So we didn't know how much was coming in.
Yeah.
We just knew how many clients we had.
How much you put on there?
That's a good question. 40.
40.
40, yeah. So we didn't know what was coming in, we didn't know what was going out, we didn't know what our attrition rate was. Let's see that.
Yeah.
That one's a wee bit stiff. There's a wee bit of DW40 in there.
That's it.
We didn't know what was coming in, we didn't know how many people were leaving. We ran blocks before as opposed to monthly recurring revenue. So once we changed everything, there was projections, there was predictability, there was a little bit more assurance around, right, we can do this.
Yeah.
And we made our first hire, which was Aidan, who's still here now, so he's our longest serving coach. But we also now have 5 full-time coaches, so we're paying 5 full-time salaries, which is still scary. Because we've had 4 and we've just decided to grow because we're trying to grow into this space and we need more manpower to do that. And me and Dale are scaling back on the coaching because of the other responsibilities are getting bigger as well. But it's been game changing because times like now, with Dale being on holiday, Martin's our head coach. Like it's like having another Dale anyway. He's understood the business so well. He's so passionate and he really cares about what we're doing. And they don't do anything else. There's no other distractions. This is their full-time job. We incentivise them as well. So like if there's like additional responsibilities going out, like they've got targets and whatnot, they're incentivised. But it's been a game changer for us. Like we now feel like we've got a business and not like a club or something like that. You know? So one of the biggest things that changed there was like the member experience, because we've always done check-ins and we've always done touch points and we've always done cohorts of clients. So even when we didn't full-time employ like coaches, part of their job was still to keep people accountable. Wasn't to the standard that we were doing it. So the issue there was everybody always wanted to be in mine or Dale's cohort. And we've only got a certain amount of hours in the day and we can't manage 230 people. Whereas now, people's personal brand and authority within this brand is so strong that the members actually see the guys that work here more than they see me and Dale. So they're actually getting probably a better service when they go with them over us, because coaching is all they do here.
Your headspace isn't taken up by, oh shit, I got to fucking sort out the VAT, and then you got to deal with coaching as well. They're just 100% focused on the coaching, which in turn makes a better product, which in turn creates a better business, which creates it impacts your lifestyle, improves your lifestyle, your work-life balance, and like, you know, it's like when you like we've coached in places where you're like, oh, there's not really a connection with the place and all that sort of thing. So like creating somewhere where people want to go and work and really enjoy it, that's something in itself. For sure.
I mean, you can even just see like the guys in here love it. Like our coaches love it. Like it's a fun environment to be around. We're all pals. There's work to get done and it's a busy, high pressure environment. We hold a really high standard in here, but it develops everybody in here as a coach. So not only, you know, have they got a job and something that they love doing, they're getting better at that job because they're surrounded by people who have been in the industry a bit longer than them, like myself and Dale. Like a big part of our job now is coaching those guys to be the best coaches that they can be.
So Ryan, what do you reckon, like what's a trend that you're starting to see in the fitness industry? Like I think we've kind of been touching on it, like small group PT, that seems to be like definitely not a trend. I think it's absolutely just a new way of doing things. But like what are you seeing that's like starting to creep in? Like you'd probably think that, like to a certain extent, for example, like people are starting to focus more on like how they feel and their functionality, as well as like kind of how they look in the mirror and stuff like that. Whereas I think, you know, if you go back 20 years, it was all about like how you look in the mirror, and then everything else was secondary to that. Whereas it's kind of flipped on its head, where it's like, oh, I might not look as good as I want to, but I feel great, my energy's good, and like, so what kind of trends do you see, especially like in the UK specifically?
I think like the biggest thing that I've noticed that's happening more recently is just more gyms popping up. Like it's not, people don't feel it's enough to just be a PT or be an online coach. People want something that's theirs, and you get the places like Morris Park. Like if you go into that building, I think there's probably like maybe 8 different gyms within that big space. I just see that more and more and more, and I think the biggest reason for that is the connection piece, like just the way the world went now. Like COVID just changed everything, didn't it? Like people went from being stuck indoors, like training in their living rooms and doing online coaching, and you know, you come back out, and now even people don't just go out and meet people and go on dates and that. It's Tinder, it's everything. Everything's on the phones now. So like coming to a gym where you train with other people allows for that connection. And you go to a JD gym, you go to a Pure Gym, you go to a gym group, one of these types of gyms, like it might have lots of people in it. You don't connect with any of them.
Everyone's still looking at their phone.
You probably get your earphones in. You know, people would actually think it's awkward to even go and speak to someone they don't know, you know, in a situation like that, which is mental. Like 10 years ago, people would have just jumped in and gone, can I use that machine and work in with you? We don't do that now. So like coming to somewhere like this, and there's more and more gyms that are, you know, doing the small group PT model now, is it simply allows people to come to the gym not just to work out, but to socialise as well. And you know, they're meeting other people that have got the same problems, that have got the same desires, the same goals, the same reason to get up and go to the gym in the morning. And that just makes them feel like they're actually part of something. They're investing their money in something just more than just training. You know? Yeah,
no, I 100% agree. I think for sure it's one of those ones where, you see it more and more often. It's like, I think I was chatting with someone else the other day about, like, it used to be like everyone would go to the pub for that same thing, but now people are realising it's probably not a good idea to drink 10 pints on a Tuesday night. So they're like, right, that kind of energy shifts to I want to be healthier, but you still want the fun environment of being part of a group. And like, as you know, like, we're preaching to the choir here, but it's like when you're in a group PT session or in a class-based gym or like a group fitness scenario, like it is, like you're just having a bit of fun. Like obviously you're blowing out your ass and sweating and putting in hard work, but you are having a good time when you're doing it.
Totally. I mean, it's not even just gyms like this. Like there's plenty of small group PT gyms about, but there's also plenty of high rock specific gyms, CrossFit boxes, like functional fitness training gyms where they're doing larger groups. It's all the same thing. They all have success because of the same reasons, and it's not like because of this really unique product that only they do. It's like, you know, like anybody could copy exactly what we do. It's most people come here, one, because they buy into the coaches and they build a relationship with them, but the biggest reason is the people that come and the relationships that they build. That's the thing that keeps people coming. So I just see more of that happen, to be honest with you. Just hopefully nobody opens up too close to us.
Exactly, Right, sorted. Thank you very much, Ryan. That was good fun. Got the chesticles pumped up. You'll see. You've probably already seen that. But we'll finish with the question that we always finish with, which is what's one thing you want someone to know about Sin that they don't already know?
It's hard because like we've always been so big on social media, and we are so transparent in absolutely everything that we do. So if you follow us, there's probably not much that you don't know. What I will say is, one thing that we always mention on our socials that rhymes true is, although we brand this as small group personal training, it's personal training in a group setting. So like the way that we have built our gym and the way that we run our sessions, you're getting way more hands-on support than you would expect to get in a group training product. So, I mean, you've done one-to-one, I've done one-to-one. 50% of the one-to-one sessions making small talk about the weekend and whatever, whereas we just don't have that. You know, our connections are in between the sessions and our small talks in between the sessions. We are just moving along and making sure that we are always busy and we're always supporting and we're always coaching. So yeah, I think it's not your stereotypical group training gym, it's personal training in a group setting.
Yeah, that's a great note to finish on. Perfect. Thank you very much for having me, mate.